Good day to you all. Welcome back to the SRL TCR League, where we have another exciting round coming to you live here. Last week's opening round from Okayama was certainly action-packed and certainly setting the stall out for the season ahead. We're round two here from the wonderful Tuscan track of Mugello in Italy provide more drama on track, more talking points, and more action. I think it certainly will. It is definitely a bit of a sleeper track in comparison to some of the more well-known ones. It's nice and wide, flowing, good, some decent overtaking spots if you're brave enough. And we've seen some fantastic racing in here in the past amongst the SRL lot. So one round in the bag. We will be laying out the stall very shortly of how the season looks right now for you, while practice is meandering to an end. We'll start off with the Pro Division. So last week we saw Arthur Fertile from the 2 rounds take a championship lead by 4 points over Logan McKinsey. You can see that rivalry starting to lay the marker for the season ahead. Adam Delmont currently in third on 78, John Brown on 74, and Jay Corley on 72. Certainly hotting up in the middle of the pack of the pro standings, with Gabriel Bolacossi and Tom Woodcock, Dan Mould, Hazes Alicon, the rest of the riders in there. Didn't quite get a full races in. We have count races there to get a maximum set of points in. It's important to finish the races. 75% race finish will get you points. If you pull out before then, that's it. There's always a fast repair for these guys as well, so nothing wrong with them taking that. I think Arthur Fertile will be very good to come out of Okayama with the lead of the championship. We look at the Pro-Ams Season 8 properly, guys. A lot of guys racing this for the second consecutive season. Dek Crowther, Mikolaj Pasek, Tony Walker, 3 points separating those top 3. Cooper Akers another 2 points back. Lewis Delmont another few points back there. Kev Ada on 66. JB DeJay 61. Neil Stevenson 58. Daniel Lewis 51. Craig Walters 49. Luke Jones 49. Fraser Elphick 16. And Matthew Downs on 14. That is very tight. And we expect that to carry on that for the entire season ahead. Very hard to pick a winner out from that, I think, there. The AMs, not too many have been taking the track so far in the first round. We'll see a similar number tonight. Paul Hurley going out ahead with 47 points, and Nick Scotney of Knock Racing of 46. Jack Davies keeping them honest with 44. We've got Darren Saunders and Chris Barnes 15 and 13. Didn't quite get their race 2s in the bag last week. So already the top 3 hotting up in the Pro-Ams. And if we look at the team championship, from the first round, we've got the next-gen Green Boys of Adam Delmont and Lewis Delmont, father and son, 150 points. Just average sim racing Vroom of Cooper Akers and Neil Stevenson, 134 points. And then Altitude Esports of Arthur Fertile, all on his own, but still third place of 130 points, 5 ahead of the SRL Green Boys. And you can see all the other runners and riders there. A few teams yet to get on track. And set some points on the board there. And a few drivers still haven't got out there to support their teammates yet, but plenty of time in that season to generate more points for your team. That's how we look for the team championships, as practice has just come to an end, I believe. Getting ready for what will be the start of qualifying, which is always 15 minutes open. This is how we look at the Autodromo del Mugello. 5.19 kilometers await for drivers out on track. We will have 280 meters of altitude change from the top to the bottom. That's a significant climb and descent down there. Very nice light breeze, 3 kilometers an hour. Nothing going to be testing drivers too much in braking zones. Good overhead conditions on the cloud, and 21 degrees air temp. It's lunchtime, it's midday for this quali session to start. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get on there, as we will be going to the timing tower. There we go. Obviously no one's done any times yet, so there'll be nothing on the board. Let's get on with the qualifying mode. There we go. Obviously it said everyone's 1,000th, because they've not set any times yet. That's just the way that cookie crumbles for everyone. Waiting for some drivers to get out there and set some times. I'm going to put the camera on the most exciting, on the TV mixed for you all, and then we go straight into the qualified action. With drivers will be jostling for position there, just trying to work out where to be, who to slipstream, who not to slipstream. Well, the slipstream will be quite important down the home straight here. And we'll certainly do a lap with one of the fast guys, one of the pro-ams and one of the AMs. Just to see what the difference of drivers is as well, so we'll certainly jump aboard on that in a second. There we go. We just see the cars come over the line. Jay Cordy, it's settled down on as being the most exciting driver right now. And one of the Delmonts, Adam Delmont, Lewis Delmont, probably working in tandem with each other there. See who can get some time on the board with through the draft, slipstream their way through. Very close to the back of each other there. Don't take each other out in practice, boys. No one benefits from that. There's Tom Woodcock in the JAS Tryhard team. Keen to get his pro season off to a return. By his own standards, probably had a below par performance last week at Okayama. Drivers just come around to really get their first hot laps on the board here. Just get some fiddling around with the bits and bobs on the track map. Give you something to look at, because why not? No one's got his first time on the board there. 59.8 from Gabriele Monnacosi. Let's jump on board with Gabriele. Let's have a look at that cockpit cam. I'm just going to change the POV a little bit so it's a bit more easier on the eye for everybody. Gabriele, this is coming up now to Materassi and into Boggio San Lorenzo. She's at the top of the circuit, the highest point pretty much of the northern part of the circuit, but down into the fast right-handers, which is Casanova. And then you got Savelli, which is very patient on the throttle there, and the double right-handers of the Arabiatas. Not the bread, but two wonderful corners that respond well to bravery. When you go to Scapera and into Pelagio, the right and the left. Again, you can do a lot of curbing around here. Nicely done. right-hander of Corencio. Patience again. A bit like Okiyama, you've got to be patient. Then you get on nice early, use the curbing. Then the left, right of Biondetti 1 and Biondetti 2. Big cuts are allowed to be had there. The entrance cutting is quite good at Mugello. It's the exit that people drivers have got to be care of. And then the final corner of Bucine before we loop back round for the start finish line. Now, he did a 59.803 on his last lap round, which was 7/10 quicker than anyone else on track at the moment. Does he improve on this time with that lap on board? 59.622 goes a 10th quicker. Craig Walters is currently the fastest Pro-Am on track. So let's jump on board with Craig Walters. As he's on the start-finish line. Let's get his on board. Let's get his perception here in the cockpit. He's currently was the top Pro-Am until we did this lap of 2 minutes 0.6. Last one was a 2 minute 0.79. As he comes into Luco. Again, patience all on that throttle. Christopher Walters in his Honda Civic. Jumping across there against the Poggio Secco. Left and right combinations. It's all about the momentum through these first few corners. Big cut there on the inside of Materassi. Absolutely fine to do that. On the throttle early there through Borgio San Lorenzo. Casanova. Yeah, one of those bravery kind of corners. You want to get a good cut. Not too much, obviously, it's not trick. But get right, so we get left. You want to hook a bit more on the left-hand side there, Craig. Keeps it on track, but probably sacrifice a lot of speed into the Arabiatas, where you can be brave. Hit the curb on the inside as your ideal target. Run wide as much as you dare. Get on the early apex on the curb. Great line through the second Arabiata. But again, this is a good breaking point. Third gear, down to second into mid-apex. But through the gears very slowly. Patience again. Don't want to go off track on the exit. Went into the Corencio of a long, patient right-hander. So easy to make a mistake here and slide it out under the brake. It's downhill, slightly cambered. But it does promote for get on the throttle early, which is good. Then the flick through Biondetti 1 and 2. Up to again the tricky last corner. Kind of the mirror image of Corencio. Just you've got to be the way around. Probably a little bit more off camber. Patience again. Get on the throttle early. Use as much as you dare on the green if you want to. It's kept it nicely within the white lines there. As Mr. Craig Walters on the run down to the start-finish line to complete another lap. 8 minutes gone to quali. Especially Craig. Does he improve on his time? Does he go top of the Pro-Ams? He does not. 2 minutes 0.791, so it's fractionally slower than his last lap actually. Let's have a look at the top amateur. It is currently Scott Malcolm. He's currently on board as he comes around to start the lap. So let's have an on board with Scott Malcolm. We should take us through then to the final few minutes of qualifying. Gabriele Bonacorsi is currently at the top of the ladder with 59.622. Sven Winter, the newcomer, with 59.865. And Alberto 59.922. Currently occupying the top three. Lewis Delmont, top Pro-Am, very close to the top pros there with a 2 minute flat. And Scott Malcolm comes through the first right-hander. And the left-hander at the top of the circuit, which is Luco with the Poggio Secco. Be chasing down that JS livery car in front of him. I'm not sure who it is. You just see the off-throttle time is so key. The earlier you can get on that throttle, the better. I've got one car in pit lane at the moment. That's Dick Crowther. Probably done his couple of laps of quali. 201.1. All about the patience. That's a good line there for the first Arabiata from Scott. Scott will be keen to jump up. Nice cut there. Doesn't look too bad of a cut. He runs round. final corner for Scott. Just going to keep it on the line here. Got some comparative sectors up there. Big run outside. That's a good line there from Scott. Good line. Does he improve on his lap of a 2:02.093? Let's have a look. Hopefully he does. It looked pretty tidy. Does he maintain the pace there to improve his time? He did not, according to my timing screen. I think it was very close to his best time, 2:02.093. Okay. So let's jump back into what could be a hotting up final few minutes now. 3 minutes to go of quali. On board with Lewis Delmont, top pro at the moment. Keen to get an improvement, maybe? Upset off of Fertile? Who knows? Let's find out, though. Currently, Gabriel hasn't gone quicker himself. Well, last time was actually quicker, sorry. 59.60, so slightly improved. Sven Winter, 59.86. Watch Delmont, followed by Adam Delmont. Currently, Lewis is out qualifying Adam, his dad. So a little bit of bragging rights there. But I suspect now he's giving Adam a bit of a tow. So start another lap with just 2.5 minutes to go. It's a 2-minute lap, so you can't afford to dawdle. This will be the last qualifying lap for a lot of these guys now. As they come over the line, Adam Delmont goes 2:01.7 that last lap. Not quite improving on time, but he'll be keen to get that run all the way down the straight there with Adam. He's not quite keeping up close, as it disappears off to a different driver now. On board with Mr. Craig Walters, currently third in class. Mikhail Pashek jumped up into second in class of a 2:46. That's his best time for qualifying. We'll just read through the runners and riders. You can see on the screen there. So currently claiming pole is Gabriele Bonlacorsi, Sven Winter, second place, Arthur Fertile third. It's all very tight. Lewis Delmont currently fourth as the lead in Pro-Am, but fourth overall on the road. John Brown in fifth. Logan McKinsey in sixth. Adam Delmont in seventh. So a couple of the big name drivers there. Logan McKinsey, Adam Delmont. A little bit off the pace in this qualifying session. Mikhail Pashek out qualifying another pro, Wayne Douglas, and Craig Walters, Matthew Downs, Stuart Gibbons out qualifying Jay Corley, who's just jumped to 8th place of a 2:03.55. Good lap from Jay there, just to give himself some pro bragging rights. Zachary Liebold still down, but he's down pit road. He will not have time to put another lap in. Daniel Lewis in the Pro-Ams out qualifying pro Tom Woodcock with a 2:01 flat. Deck Crowther, Kev Aylett, Tony Walker, JB Dejoux, Neil Stevenson, Cooper Akers and Fraser Elphick in that massively tight, packed Pro-Am field. Everyone is within a few tenths of a second between each other. As we see some cars come over the line now, headed by Craig Walters over the line. Doesn't improve, but it's 2:07. Adam Delmont finally gets his time below 2 minutes on the board of 59.91 to stamp his authority on the father-son debate. No doubt helped by the tow from Lewis. We've got a few cars now just heading down pit road, and that's qualifying done. As soon as the clock ticks to 15, you are done on that side. Whew. Let's have a look at the grid. If it wants to give us a grid, that is. There we go. Right, we will be looking at the grid here. So Gabriele Bonlacorsi on the pole with a 59.6. Sven Winter, we've got on second place there with 2 tenths slower. Adam Belmont in third. Arthur Fertile in fourth. Lewis Delmont in fifth. In sixth place, John Brown. Fourth place, sorry, seventh place. I read car number 4, Logan McKinsey. Unfortunately, it's given me the wrong team names on the swing there, even though I clearly told the SDK to overwrite the teams. Thank you very much. We're not worried about it too much. Jay Cordy in 8th, 7/10 off the pole sitter. Adam Delmont, as we move up there, we've screened a bit more. There we go. Mikhail Pashek in 9th, Wayne Douglas in 10th, Craig Walters in 11th, Matthew Downs 12th, Stuart Gibbons in 13th, and Zachary Liebold in 14th. Dan Lewis 15th, Tom Woodcock up in 16th there, Dick Crowther, Kev Aylett occupy 17th and 18th places. 19th place is Tony Walker with JB J in 20th. Neil Stevenson, Cooper Akers occupy 21st and 22nd, and then the final 2 rows of the grid there are Fraser Welford 23rd, Scott Malcolm 24th, Jack Davies in 25th, and Chris Barnes in 26th. That's your grid. As everyone starts to grid up there for you. So we'll just show a couple of classes. Let's just whiz it back. So top of the Pro-Ams, Craig Walters there, Matthew Downs operating the first 2 there. Stuart Gibbons and Dan Lewis occupy 5th and 6th. Dick Crowther and Kev Aylett 7th and 8th. And Tony Walker and JB DJ are your top 10 in the Pro-Ams. This is just the pros organised by top 8. It's Gabrielle and Sven, Adam, Arthur, John Brown, Logan, Jay Cordy, Wayne Douglas.
Man.
We'll turn the grid off.
Good luck, gentlemen.
As the grid is starting to form.
Good luck.
They're all saying good luck to each other. We're going to get the drivers on board there. There we go. We're going to go exciting. We are ready to rock and roll, people, for what will be race 1. The first one is 20 minutes long. About 20 seconds to the gridding up. It's complete. We've gone through the grids. Lights are coming on. We're going to go green in a few seconds, and we are green now. And a quick burst of the wheels there from Arthur Fertile. A little bit of smoke and a bit of contact there at the front there. Oh, a bit of a contact at all there between the top 3. A little bit of a sketchy start from them boys there, but all still 3 wide down to the turn 1 of San Donato. So right on board there with Mikhail Pashek and Jay Cordy. We're tight into the first corner. So far no contact, but definitely Gabrielle and Arthur came together at the beginning there on the grid. It's not flashed up anything on the screen in terms of contacts and incidents, so I think everyone has got through that nicely. That's what we want to see. We're on board with Adam Delmont there, so he's took a bit of a contact, went backwards a little bit as that contact slowed him down. It's fallen down there into 9th place overall. A couple of cars are running wide. We're on board with Adam still. This is definitely going to be high stakes, high action with him trying to move through the field now. Jay Corley's has dropped 3 places to 11th. Adam Delmont's certainly the big loser from the beginning. Sven launched ahead of Gabrielle off the start. The race swap positions from pole. Kev Aylett's up 4 places. Not quite sure how he managed that, but he did. JB DJ had a little slight off-track moment earlier on. He's down 1 place. Craig Walters lost 7 places at the beginning there. He did not get a good start off of the line. As they weave their way through the Biondettis. What a shot that is always. There's a bit of action behind there. That is a green SRL looking liveried car, I think it was, of Dan Lewis. Don't hold me to that. And possibly Craig Walters. Yes, it was. I'm not sure what happened there. We will be having a look at that one as the cars stream back over the line. With a big thing of Craig Walters crashed. As we look at Matthew Downs on the start-finish line with another JS livery car behind him. There's always a few of those cars around. As they come down to the first corner of San Donato. Matthew Downs being chased by Kev Aylett. No team orders there, I'm guessing. Dick Crowther looking to go up the inside of Kev Ayler and probably will make it stick as he looking too wide and has decided to kick us off. Thank you very much, iRacing. Let's jump back onto that one of Dick Crowther. He made it stick. Absolutely. There he is. He got through Kev Ayler in the first corner. Nice overtake move there. Oh, another bit of contact. That's Arthur Fertile. Oh, what's going on here? Well, we need to go back and check some things. Let's have a look at the Craig Walters incident. Got contact into the side of Dan Lewis. A bit of a jump, bit of a suspension smack. And unfortunately, that was that. And then let's have a look at Arthur Fertile. He had a moment. A bit earlier than that. Oh, what happened to Arthur? We're going to see if we can find it. There's literally no warning that it happened. Let's do this one. There we go. Right, there's a bit of contact. Oh, there's a bit of one of the Delmonts. 23 of Lewis Delmont got into the back of Arthur there. It was very tight, wasn't it? That was. So Logan McKenzie's up to 3rd place there. It's just showing JBG at the top of the timings. I don't really know why. Jump on board with Sven. Just wait for the timing tower to sort itself out. So we're just going to give it a kick. There we go. As they all start to roll around on board with Lewis Delmont. It looks like it's just settled down a little bit now. Arthur Fertile has gone down to pit road to get some fast repairs done. Craig Walters and Dan Lewis are also down on pit road as well. Just waiting for the everything just to kind of reset itself and sort itself out on the timing screens. At least it's held the position. JB DJ is showing us in the lead, but unfortunately he is not in the lead. As we're on board with Lewis Delmont now. Let's bring up some battle boxes. Battle for 4th. There we go. There we go. The timing tower just decides to sort itself out nicely for us. Thank you very much. The battle for 3rd. Logan McKenzie, John Brown, Wayne Douglas. All pretty tight on track. There's a slide for John Brown. Returning in that Honda. After controversially picking the wrong car last week. Probably used some kind of archaic bylaw to allow entry in a Honda this in tonight. But unfortunately didn't seem to quite gel from into turn 1 of Son Donato. Sticking on board with Lewis Delmont here. It's apparently going to be the most exciting. Let's look see what else we've got. Some tight racing on board. But he's currently running in 5th overall with Miklas Pasek of the Pro-Ams running right behind him as we come down. Dick Crowther there leading through the green car of Zachary Liebold. Got Kev Ayler following Zach through. And he's got Tony Walker all over him, who's also up a number of places. So Kev and Tony up 5 places each. Dick Crowther's the biggest mover with 6 places each. Fabulous start there for Dick. Just see Sven just stretching out there. Over Logan McKenzie, got past Gabriel. But there's a bit of a train forming behind Gabriel as well. So Gabriel Bonacorsi do well to hold this swarm of TCRs back. Cars weave their way through the Beyondettis. It's a great sound. JBJ is shown in 25th place. I think JBJ's had a bit of contact somewhere. What we'll do, we'll definitely go back and sort the replays out at the end of the race and see what happened there where we can, if it allows us to. The cars storm down the home finish straight here at the Mugello circuit in Italy. We've got a Lewis Delmont looking to make a move on Wayne Douglas around the outside of San Donato. He's going to be keen to get past quickly if he wants to keep up there. Adam Delmont's down in 10th, 7 places, lost since the start. John Brown's down 1. Wayne Douglas is a big mover as well. He's up 6 places into 4th place overall and 4th in class. Lewis Delmont currently top of the pros. So Pro-Ams, and Mikhail Pashek 2nd place. He's up 3 places. Stuart Gibbons in his first race of the season, he's in 9th place. He's up 4 places. There's some big movers going on. So Zach's got past Kev Aylett. He did earlier on, sorry. Tony Walker still all over the back of Kev. Lots of cars in lines. No one really looking to make any moves at the moment. Let's just settle down into the pace. 16 minutes of the race remaining. Sorry, not a lie. 14 minutes. My maths is shocking today. That's what happens when you do it on a Wednesday. Daniel, look at Delmont going up the inside there. It's a nice move there on Gibbons. And Delmont looking to make some ground up. Next on his hit list is going to be Jay Corley. As we come back to Tony Walker, who looks like he is not past Kevin yet. Go back to Mikulaj. He's trying to keep Lewis in his hunt, but John Brown is going to keep him company. Mikulaj has certainly showed some pace in this early part of the season, coming out 2nd place in the Pro-Ams after the first round. Tony Walker, he again no slouch. He's in 3rd place in the Pro-Ams. The cars go down the start-finish line. He's your running order after lap 4. We've got Sven Winter, 2 seconds clear of Logan McKinsey. Gabriele Bonacorsi is another 3 seconds back there. Wayne Douglas, Lewis Delmont, Mikulaj Pashek, John Brown, Jay Corley, Adam Delmont, Stuart Gibbons, Nate Crowther, Zachary Liebold, Kev Aylett, Tony Walker, Tom Woodcock, Matthew Downs, Cooper Akers. That's a train of JAS cars. Chris Barnes in the Blades Designs 2, up 8 places. Into the lead of the AMS. Scott Malcolm there in 2nd place, up 5 places in 2nd place in the AMS. Fraser Welfick has moved up 3 himself. Neil Stevenson is still in the same place in 21st. Craig Walters is one of the big droppers there in 11th. Daniel Lewis down 8 places. Jack Davies is down. Sorry, he's up 1 place there. He's in 3rd in the AMS as it stands. Oof. Now Pashek is just giving pusher to Lewis Delmont. He's going up the inside of Lewis, holding the line 2 wide there. How can you think this is not the most exciting to watch John Brown there on his own? But he's looking to look to take advantage as they storm up the hill towards Scapiero. Lewis Delmont is still there on the outside of it. You can just see there, Jay Corley's now coming into the hunt with Adam Delmont trying the rear gunner to his son Lewis. This is going to be an interesting story as they come down to Carencio. Still too wide, a little bit of contact at the outside. Or did Lewis lose it on the braking? Not too sure. Tom Woodcock just jumped to the pits. I'm not sure why. Might have crashed. Now Adam somehow just jumped ahead of Jay so easily. But Lewis has dropped down a couple of places there. Off beforehand. Apologies for the language there. Right, the Delmont brothers. So Adam has jumped ahead of Lewis. That Fracco, and in comes inside of John Brown. Comes Adam Delmont. Can Lewis sneak through? Lewis going to hold the rear gunner now for Adam as Adam making quick moves up the pack from 10th to 6th now after dropping down to that position there. Oh, was a wide one to John Brown. Was that a little tap? Oh, and a bit of contact into the side of Lewis. Oh, that was certainly a highlight. Wants to rejoin there, Lewis. He did. And he's fallen all the way down behind Kev Aylett, who's now chased down Jay Corley after all that coming together in Contina. But has John Brown got any damage? Has he got some looseness in that car as they come through the Arrabbiatas, the uphill right-handers, one of the favourite parts of this track? See a lot of patience at deck. Crowther looking to hunt down Stuart Gibbons. Or was they going to work together as a team with 2 Blade Designs cars? showing their good start to this race. I think Mugello is one of their favourite circuits. John Brown looking to close in on Zach Liebold. John Brown definitely lost out on that bit of contact with Lewis himself. And obviously Lewis has dropped back behind the other guys. Adam stretching over Gibbo, as he likes to be called amongst his peers. Dick Crowther there. There's also a few paces back as John Brown looking to hold off Jay Corley into the final corner. Just see Zach Liebold trying to make a move on Dick Crowther. Now will the run of the Veloster outpace the Audi down the straight? Not normally. But it's coming into the braking zone as they go one by one over the start-finish line to start lap 6. This is the closest of the field at the moment. Sven Winter at the front is almost 4 seconds clear. The 9.2k rated driver, showing his I rating is not a myth. So we just see Mikolaj Pasek go through there in 5th place. Top Pro-Am. Stuart Gibbons 2nd and Dick Crowther 3rd in the Pro-Am division. Everyone's looking pretty good on that side of things, which is exactly what we need. John Brown there. Certainly getting a lot of airtime for his most exciting driving. As we see Stuart Gibbons leading the pack through of Stuart Gibbons, Dick Crowther, Zach Liebold, John Brown, Jay Corley in this little battle. It's absolute gaggle. And Kevin is just catching up a little bit towards the back there. He's dragging Lewis Delmont along with him, or being pushed by Lewis Delmont there. But that will be a Pro-Am battle. So who wants to play the long game there? But John Brown is going to be keen to make a move. So he goes a little bit wide. You will get a little bit of a slow run out there if you get too much on the gravel at the end of the Arabiatas. Zach Liebold looking to get past Deck. Deck is no easy person to overtake. He knows exactly how to position his car better than most. And can John Brown take advantage of Zach trying to get past Deck and make his own move? And Jay Corley will be looking to sniff his way past at the hint of the first door opening. Stuart Gibbons still leading them away there, giving a nice draft there to Deck, so they'll be definitely working together. Oh, and Zach's right up the bumper there of Dick Crowther. It's going to be tight now. Is he going to get a good run down the straight? But Dick got out of a draft quite early there. Zach running a little bit wide on the exit of turn 1. And a very late pit entrance there from Lewis Delmont. Not sure what that was for, but that's going to be curtailing his race 1. Top 15 reverse, so he's going to fall out for top 15 as well, I imagine, as the cars come down too wide, down into the turn 1 San Donato. And it was probably more of a team scheduled display. Is this a multi-21 situation? We've got Dick Crowther going around the outside of Stuart Gibbons. Zach Liebold trying to make a move. This is a great angle we got here from John Brown's in-car. John Brown taking time to get advantage of coming through the inside. Dick Crowther not given an inch, and rightly so. He does not want to give this place up. Even though Zach is a pro driver, Dick Crowther is a pro-am, there is no need to give the places back if you're on the same pace. But Zach does make it stick around the top of the circuit of San Lorenzo. As the cars go too wide now, Jay Corley and John Brown probably getting caught out a little bit at Concertina. Can they make a thing? And here comes Kev Aylett coming up the inside of Jay Corley into the Arabiatas. But Dick Crowther will be keen to get the hunt back in his favour with Zach Liebold in front. It's like Jay Corley's giving John Brown a push up the bread corners, the double sticks, into the braking zone. There is not much there. You can get a fag paper between those two. Down to Correntio, the patience corner, the right-hander loop. We've got a number of cars all together there. We've got Matthew Downs has joined the back of his group as well. So different JAS team. Really go to overtake the team boss of Kev Aylett. I'm pretty sure there's no team orders back there. Just like we saw no team orders with the Blade Designs guys of Dick Crowther and Stuart Gibbons. And Stuart Gibbons got really wide on the last corner there. Now Honda Power versus Hyundai Power. Down the start-finish line, the two green cars, Zach Liebold and Stuart Gibbons. Dick Crowther will be keen to support Stuart Gibbons here into the braking zone. Here comes the Audi Power, on board now with Dick Crowther. We jump back to John Brown. We're going to see it from a different angle. Is it going to be in action here? Gibbo goes around the inside, holding the line. This is good action, but Zach seems to have a reverse for the left-hander. But then we go into a right-hander. He made it stick. Good move from Zach Lee. But all wide, what all? Does that John Brown taking out Dick Crowther? I think that might have been. We'll review that one after the race. We're in some high intense action, but it's another contact for John Brown. As he comes, falls another few places back there on some drivers. We will check that one out in a short second. It looks like Dick Crowther has towed. Oh, did he get some damage from that? That's a controversial moment, that is. We will have a look. We missed Fraser Elphick, unfortunately, dropping out of the action. It's like he crashed, but again, we'll jump his back on. So Chris Barnes has dropped out of the top of the running there as well. So much actually going on the track. It's always hard to get the replays up and running and not lose anything happening right now, because we've still got a train of cars here. Kev Ayler is up to 8, has jumped 8 places somehow. Not his favourite track I know of. Matthew Downs is pushing him hard. John Brown pushing him harder. Nothing wrong with being pushed hard from behind. We've got Zach Liebold at the front of this 6-car. Matthew Downs holding off a defensive line there. Oh, I wonder if that's some kind of team order there. You know, I doubt it. So Zach Liebold, Stuart Gibbons and Jay Corley further up ahead, 7th, 8th and 9th. So let's have a look at the standings. Mikolas Paszek is 5th. And overall, leading the Pro-Ams. Stuart Gibbons is 2nd in the Pro-Ams, and Kev Ayler somehow 3rd in the Pro-Ams. Matthew Downs 4th. As we just pop that a second there. That's the previous lap times. You can just see there between the drivers on track. Never really does like that, but wasn't too much, does it? Just fiddle around with the bits and bobs. The previous lap time deltas on the bottom right there. Don't really need that anyway. Let's go back to the battle box though. Battle for 7th between Zach Liebold in 7th and Cooper Akers, it's showing, is in 13th place now. Cooper Akers is feeling hungry to get onto the back of his train now. You see him just come around the corner there. We got 2 wide there between Jay Corley and Stuart Gibbons up into the Arabiatas. Not really great overtaking zone there, but John Brown is having a sniff around Matthew Downs. Kev Ayler is coming up on Stuart Gibbons. This is for podium, so Kev can get a good run here on Stuart and fight for the podium. We've got literally a couple of minutes remaining. We've not seen the white flag yet. We could definitely do with the white flag. There we go. So Sven, he's still increasing his gap there, 5 seconds up at the front. Logan McKinsey and Gabriel Bonacorsi are very tight at the top there. The checkered flag is now coming out for the leaders. Yeah, that's so checkered flag next up. This is the white flag lap. It's showing me a bad overlay there. Naughty SDK. No, that isn't checkered. That is checkered, so that is checkered. Oh, dear me. Throwing it right off there. We just see Sven get over the line, though, at least. And Logan coming home 2nd. Right, then. Sorry about that. So much action going on there at the back of the grid. But Sven was so far ahead. That kind of happens. You see everyone else coming over the line to finish the race. So Jack Davies... Adam Delmont finished 15 places down, so he had an incident later on in the race. Tony Walker, 19th place. He followed JB DeJay over the line. And Arthur Fertel coming home on the lead lap in 21st. Not the best points there for him in his battle with Logan McKinsey and Gabriel Bonacorsi. As the cars meander their way to complete the race. Which means, after that one, there's a bit of a 5-minute warm-up. we'll have a look at the results from Heat 1. Let's just hide you. There we go. Right then. So here are the Heat 1 results. We'll do it by class, I believe. If we do Pro, there we go. Heat 1 results by Pro. Sven Winter, winner by 5.38 seconds over Logan McKinsey. Gabriel Boncorsi came home third, just a few tenths behind Logan there. Wayne Douglas, 6 seconds behind in fourth. Good start, first round of the season for him. Zachary Liebold, in all his trials and tribulations with a crew of pro-ams hassling and haranguing him, he came home in fifth place. Jake Corley taking advantage of some good patient driving behind everyone else and jumping ahead of John Brown near the end, finishing 18 seconds behind the leaders there. Seventh place John Brown, with Adam Delmont finishing a minute down in 15th place over on track, I think it was. I'm just checking that now. No, he finished a bit further down than that. And Arthur Fertile and Tom Woodcock rounding out your pros. In the Pro-Ams from race 2. Sorry, race 1. What am I saying sometimes? Think about it, Kev. Mikuláš Pasek, winner by 6 seconds in the end over Stuart Gibbo. With Kev Aylett in third place with 2 tenths behind Stuart. Matthew Downs finished 4.5 tenths behind Kev. And with Cooper Akers 6 seconds further back in fifth place. Craig Walters, early pace setter, disappointed to come home 15 seconds off the pace, along with Dan Lewis, who got in some early contact with Craig Walters and finished 19 seconds. Neil Stevenson in 8th place, Tony Walker in 9th, and JB Dejay rounding out the top 10 with Dick Crowther, who retired back to pits after 2 laps remaining after contact with John Brown. Absolute carnage. Let's have a look at the AMs. We've got 2.5 minutes remaining of the warm-up as Wayne Douglas is out on track at the moment, so stay on board with him. Just a 3 AMs took to the start of the race there. Scott Malcolm, the winner in his first race of the season. Jack Davies second, 10 seconds back. And then Chris Barnes unfortunately retired out of the race with 3 laps remaining. Fortunately, it's not saved my replays from the first one, first race. So I'm not able to go back and check it. But we will do that at definitely end of the next race. So apologies for that. I think he is the only person on track right now. He is, yes. So we've got 1 minute and 6 remaining of this warm-up. And then we'll get straight into the grid. She's ready to go overall. So an action-packed first race there. A lot's going on. We stayed with the bulk, which was that 6-7 car mid-pack for most of the second half of that race, because that's where all the action and carnage was. I say carnage, but there was a lot of contact, a lot of bruising, a lot of stuff going on. I think everyone came through quite nicely in the end. So. We'll keep that on there. Right then. Warm-up is 30 seconds away from ending. And we go into race 2. We'll get clutches and settings sorted. Let's get timing tower open. Just hear someone revving out the pit. There's Jay Corley. Make sure his clutch bite point is good for the start of the race. It's important with these cars, get the right bite points for the start. It's very easy to spin some wheels up or get bogged down. So hopefully they do not. Next race is 25 minutes, so 5 minutes longer. we should see a bit more patience maybe, but also reverse 15, which makes it more interesting because as we're going to go onto the grid any second now. There we go. Here comes the grid. Interesting grid, so it did actually why are you not showing me the grid properly? This is unfortunately not doing the grid correctly. It's not playing ball for me. I may just pause it and wait for the grid to form up. Because it does do this. This is a bit of a feature of STK, unfortunately. Dan Lewis is sitting on a pole there with the car behind him. I don't recognise. I think that's Scott Malcolm. So let's go green. No, they reset. We're going to get going. Yep, go, 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 go. And they're off the line. There's a bit of action going off to the right there. No one's spin off line, but someone touched the grass now. Says they storm down to the first corner of San Donato. Dan Lewis getting a typical Audi start, and off they go. Craig Walters in second place there, making the move. Scott Malcolm was the car that was occupying that front left position there. As they come into the first corner, beautiful lighting there. 3 wide round the outside there. It's Stuart Gibbons making the play. Good start there for Scott Malcolm. He's definitely kept it up at the front. Just see Matthew Downs trying to get past Kevin there. Into that left-hander of Matarazzi. Holding it both wide there. Good driving from the pair. Holding their places there, 6th and 7th. We've got John Brown door-to-door with Cooper Akers. And they're going to go down into this cascading right, left. You'll be careful. Cold tyres still as everyone storms down. So everyone is still on track. Everyone has got away with everything, which is always a good start to the race. Dick Crowther there, keeping up with the pack. Did start towards the back because of his finishing position from the first race. Arthur Furter will have a lot to do. Lewis Delmont will have a lot to do. They're not showing as classified right now. I'm not sure what's happened there. Jay Corley had a little bit of an off-track moment. He's down 15 places onto that, but that's actually not as severe as it sounds. Right, and Gabriel Bonaccorsi's making some moves up here. He finished further than the last race. He's up to 8th in this one, so he would have started 12th place. Sven Winter still has made up 3 places from his start. Nicholas Pashik has dropped a few places there. Not many. He's on board with Matthew Downs. He'd be keen to get past that car of Kev Aylett in front of him. In fact, he did get past Kev Aylett, sorry. It's another JS livery car with actually the 3 teams all running very close to each other in those 3. The Pretenders, Vroom, and the Tryhards. So it's going to be Cooper taking a very defensive line. Definitely no team orders there. Cooper getting a little bit squirrely on the braking zone. Matthew Downs just swoops on the inside. Cooper got a little bit hot on the entry there. Swoops back on the inside of his other teammate. Good racing there between the stable. This is the most exciting action on track. Gabriel Bonaccorsi will be keen to make amends for his race 2 last week and get ahead quickly and not get caught in too much traffic as well. That one's running wide, a bit of gravel there. That was Zach Liebold taking a defensive line on the inside. Let's see what quite happened there, but he's dropped back a few places. More Gabriel Bonaccorsi desperate to get back to Kevin and takes the inside line. Kevin a little bit wide on turning. As they storm through the second Arabiata. into the braking zone of Scapiero. Gabriel still there, but being given no quarter. And Logan got himself through as well very nicely. Logan be keen to keep tabs on Gabriel there, running as a pros at top of the field. They swoop through the Beyondettes, led by Dan Lewis, Greg Walters, and John Brown, taking advantage of that poor finish to the last race and making amends here at the start of the second race as they go too wide down into Bassine. Important to get the end of this corner right because you get a long run down this straight here. And if you're starting off kilter there, it's not too good. Bonacorsi is on the inside there of car number 48, which is Scott Malcolm. He's trying to keep tabs of Cooper Akers. Here comes Gabrielle. Here comes Logan. They're going to go three wide. Three wide into San Donato. Who's going to come out the winner here? Two pros and an am. I've all paying attention to Gabrielle coming to the inside of Scott Malcolm. He came down the inside there. Logan goes through the inside. And of course, he managed to keep it just about on track. But what happens in that corner of three wide? Never normally works out well for all parties involved. But nothing too serious or severe. Just a bit of bravery required. But Scott was on the inside. Not much he could do there by the looks of things. As the cars come out the back of the stands. Inside goes Mikulash Pashek. Right, sends it deep. And Kev Ayler, and Kev was not having any of that. He goes, thank you very much. That door is getting shut. Here comes Arthur Fertile on the inside of Mikulash. He's going to make some places up after starting towards the back. A lot of smoke. Someone's off. Two cars off. Oh, there's a car on the inside of Arthur. And, well, we need to. There's a lot going on there. How did you pick that one out? That's one for the highlights at the end. There's Gabrielle having some contact earlier on with Scott Malcolm and just about avoiding what looks like that Mikulash Pashek incident. Oh, contact! As we hear the back of Adam Delmont's car getting smacked. We didn't see who that was, but I think that was Wayne Douglas. Oh, slow car in the middle of JB DJ. He's going very slowly through the Beyondettes. He's got damage. I think so. Some very wide. But we said it might be a bit of a calmer race. There's a lot more going on there. A lot more contact. The cars stream down. Start finish line. A lot of action. A lot of overtaking going on. The cars are one big long line through. Craig Walters has got past Dan Lewis and John Brown. We didn't see that happen because there was something that was much other action going on. As we watch Arthur Fertile trying to get past Kev Ayler. I don't know if Kev will make it too difficult for him. Craig will be keen to get a run up there. We've got half a second lead on John Brown and another half a second back to Dan Lewis. Matt Downs is running quite close behind there. 1.9 seconds further back. Cooper Akers, Logan McKinsey, Sven Winter. I don't think that was Adam Delmont getting a bit nice slide through there. Here comes Bonacorsi and Kev Ayler again. Oh, I forgot past, I think, yep. Bonacorsi might have had an off track, I think, because it's caught up with him. Tony Walker is in the hunt there as we see him back onto Cooper Akers. Logan McKinsey, his North American counterpart, right behind him. Tony Walker trying to go around the outside there. Cooper Akers keen to hold off Logan there. Logan will want to get through quickly to catch up with the leaders and get some points on the board, or more points. Sven Winter, last Heat 1 winner, is also there in 7th place. Craig Walters has stretched his lead further to 1.3 seconds. Dan's slightly closing on John Brown there by a tenth. There's Craig, there's John, there's Dan. And there's Matthew Downs, Cooper Akers, Logan McKinsey and Sven Winter, Arthur Fertel, Gabriel Bonacorsi and Cavella are your top 10. Tony Walker is looking to break that top 10. They're all very close. We're now this gaggle of 4 with Matthew Downs, Cooper Akers and Logan McKinsey and Sven Winter. They're all going to be trying to gain on the leaders here. So these fast guys are going to push everyone along. Gabriel's dropped Kev. So Kev's got to try and keep hold of Tony Walker and Mikuláš Pasek for the pros. Mikuláš just got past Tony. Excuse me. No, actually dropped down a little bit there. Tony Walker went off track. Logan McKinsey trying to go around the outside of Cooper. Down through Savelli. But into the Arabiatas. Here comes Arthur, giving it a wiggle. Whoa, I tell you one thing. That was close. But it's still there. Logan is going to look to capitalise from this. Surely. Arthur up the inside. Can he make it stick? Sorry, it's not Arthur. It's Sven Winter. He managed to leapfrog them all. Now, some driving from Sven Winter to get those places up very quickly. And Gabriel will be keen to keep pace here. Now, can Logan keep tabs on Sven? Don't want to get Sven too far away now. He's up to 5th place overall. And yes, a good run for the rest of it. There comes Arthur Fertel will be inside of Cooper. You see the outcome there? Yes, Arthur just makes it stick. Now Gabriel will be keen to jump ahead of Cooper himself because he knows that if these guys get too far ahead, it means points being lost because you're not keeping up with them or making the moves to overtake. Cooper looking to give Arthur Fertel a big push down the straight. Cooper looking to make a move on the inside of Arthur here. This is Pro-Am versus Pro. What a move from Cooper, taking the position back there from Arthur Fertel. Who's going to be later on the break? So that means Gabriel Bonacorsi's come through. Cooper really upsetting the pigeons there. Great move from Cooper. Sometimes these pros can think they're going to get past, and then the Pro-Ams can definitely race back just as hard when they get the right opportunity. And again, they're fighting for their own positions. Cooper is currently sat in 4th place in the Pro-Am division this race. Arthur Fertel looking to come back at him down into the Savelli's complex. And Cooper goes a bit wide. Oh, that's going to cost him. Yeah, he's going to have to back out of that a little bit and avoid the bad rejoin and the run. It's going to bring him back to the group of cars behind, which is Kevin and Mikuláš Pasek. And there goes car number 2, Sven Winter, up the inside of Matthew Downs. So Sven will be keen to hunt down now Dan Lewis, John Brown and Craig Waters, the trio at the front. We've got 11 minutes gone, which means we're into the final 14 minutes of the race. I see Logan hovering around Matthew Downs' rear end now. He's got to keep pace with Sven. This will be important. Both these drivers quite highly rated on the official scene. But that means nothing when you come to the leagues, the I rating. It sounds who can do what on track. Oh, Logan's got off. Won't be happy with that. Bit wide. Probably got his braking a little bit wrong. Matthew Downs retaining that position on track in 3rd place in class. Craig Walters slightly been now reeled in by John Brown. It's down to 0.6 of a second. Daniel Lewis about a second further back. And Sven Winter is 3 seconds back from him. So a little bit of breathing room. So what we're going to do now with John Brown and... Why has this gone to the leader? Leader! Then you kick on the leader and say, nope, don't do that. Here we go. John Brown and Craig Walters. Just keep tabs on these guys for a little bit. Craig Walters will be keen to maintain that position ahead of John Brown. Just for bragging rights. Good friends on and off track. Dan Lewis and his resurgent Audi this year be looking to take advantage of any mishaps Maybe not, he's quite got a pace, but John Brown has gone wide at Arietta 1. That's going to let Dan Lewis back into position, and Craig Walters runs a little bit wide. So they're not making it easy for themselves. Here comes Sven. He's going to be in the hunt. As we jump back to Adam Delmont. He's in a gaggle of cars here, isn't he? Let's have a look. This is an exciting bunch of cars inside there. I'm not sure who that was going sideways. There's sideways there, Lewis Delmont and Nicholas Pashak. Sorry, Adam Delmont. There's not much difference between the Delmont cars when you see them at a glance. Tony Walker's got back in front of Mikulaj. There's Tony. They're side by side for the Biondettis. Mikulaj trying to make the moves there to keep his places back. So we're going to jump back onto that one because these guys were running hot. And Logan did get past Matthew, but they're side by side. Matthew and Arthur Fertile down the start-finish line. Some good racing going on all around here. Matthew's still holding his own now on the inside of Arthur. Good driving there for Matthew Downs. Gabriel going to try and sneeze his way through. Not squeeze it, sneeze it. That's all it's going to take to make a mistake. Someone take their eyes off the road. We're 15 minutes into the race. 10 minutes to go. And the action is hot. We've lost Lewis Delmont, Fraser Elphick and Chris Barnes from the timings. So Wayne Douglas is 3 laps down. We didn't see what happened to Wayne. But we'll review that at the end of the checkered. Ray Walters is 5 tenths ahead of John Brown. So it's very tight there between the top 3. A little bit tardy of an exit from Matthew Downs there. It's holding off Arthur Fertile. Here comes Gabriel Bonacourse again on the inside of Arthur Fertile. A little bit of contact there. I think he came out of it just about right. Good driving. Forceful, robust overtake from Gabriel Bonacourse. Matthew Downs looking to hold on to that place up ahead. This is all for points. As we run through our top 10, we've got Craig Walters, John Brown, Daniel Lewis, Sven Winter, Logan McKinsey, Matthew Downs, Gabriel Bonacourse. We go see car 2 wide there. Arthur Fertile, Adam Delmont, Cooper Akers, Kev Aylett, Tony Walker, Mikulaj Pashak, Tom Woodcock, Neil Stevenson, Jay Corley, and Zachary Liebold and Jack Davies rounding out the top 18. Let's jump on to Jay Corley. Let's see what's occurring here. Around the last corner, he's chasing down Neil Stevenson. There's a bit of a take. Adam Delmont's moving his way forward as the cars go 2 wide. This is still Matthew Downs holding off everyone in front of him. Gabriel Bonacourse and Arthur Fertile doing a fine job of it as well. This is one that we probably need to stick around on, I think. This is a great battle. There's a bit of contact there, a bit of rubbing. Arthur's being very robust but very fair as well at the same time. A little bit of someone else spitting some more gravel up. It's very common around here. Bonacourse down the inside of Arthur Fertile for the first left-hander. If Arthur can hang it around the outside, could he get the right-hand switchback? He does. Just wonderful driving from these two. We're going to actually flip it on. Now, Adam Delmont has got the back of these 3 as they battle away. So Adam Delmont is now exactly where he needs him to be. Put him under a bit of pressure. You've got Cooper Akers and Kev Aylett and Tony Walker behind them. Everyone is so tight. It's a wonderful track for touring car racing, Mugello. Now, what's going to happen here? Gabriel looking very racy against the back of Arthur. You watch him come through the left, right of Scarpiera and Palazzo. Down towards Corincio. And down towards the Biondettis. Arthur's got a job on his hand now. He was trying to get past Matthew Downs, but now he's got to watch his mirrors now with Gabriel and Adam hunting this pack down. There's always actually, you can't take your eyes off it for a second. around the final corner of Buccini's. Everyone is so tight. Tony Walker is trying to keep touch with Kev Aylett and Cooper Akers there as the cars come down the start-finish line to start lap 10. So lap 9. Can't count. This is the 10th lap. They've completed 9 laps. Arthur did not quite getting the move done there. Gabriel was looking around, but Arthur's looking to get the power on exit. Look at that. Velo versus Velo. Round first left-hander. I think Arthur's going to make this move stick. He's got to drive through the right-hander. That's a great move from Arthur Fertile there on Matthew Downs. Will it compact everyone else up behind? It will indeed. Adam Delman looking to get past Gabriel. Now Gabriel is going to be robust on the overtake down the inside of Matthew Downs. It's a fine move, but Matthew Downs on the right-hander will hold that position back as they come down to Casanova and Cervelli. We got cars 2 wide staggered into the first right-hander. Valence and Cervelli is to the left-hander. Arthur's given himself a nice little gap. And here comes Matthew Downs to defend from Gabriel. We're going to jump back a car here and go into Gabriel's. So much going on here. Matthew Downs going defensive early for this right-hander because he can hang it around the outside around a lot of these corners. Gabriel looking for bits. Oh, Adam forces his way through there beautifully. That's a fabulous bit of opportunist driving from Adam Delmont in that 37 Honda Civic. Oh, very close to the rear end of people there. Adam's got past. Matthew Downs contact. Oh, and Gabriel Bonasconi's in. Matthew Downs and there's contact. Oh, and there's a big crash. I don't know. I think I took out someone else. It's Kev gone. Oh, there's huge accidents. That's one to pick up and see what happened there at the end of the race with just 5 minutes remaining. What a place to go. Oh, well, that's going to have to be reviewed, surely. Gabriel Bonner's course he's been towed back to pits. We've got Meatballs out for Kev Aylett and Matthew Downs. And John Brown goes through for the lead. For the lead against Craig Walters. And we got Sven Winter trying to upset that apple cart. That's close racing. This is good. And Sven Winter gets through. Sven Winter looking for a 15th to 1st win with just 2 laps to go. I make it on my mathematics. Maybe 2 maybe 3. No, it's got to be 2. It's got to be 2 laps. Craig Walters will be upset with that. We're going to hold on to this now. We're going to stay with the leaders. Sven Winter, can he stay with John Brown? Here comes Sven round the outside. And he gets a switch back on John Brown. This is for the overall lead. This is pro versus pro, door to door, handle to handle. Will they have any mirrors left on the end of this sequence of corners? Into Carinthia. Round the outside, who's got the better drive? Honda versus Honda. With a Honda in 3rd place of Craig Walters. Looking to take advantage of any slip-ups. The Scherer Esports car of Sven. And the SRL Green car of John Brown. As the cars race to the last corner of Buccine. Get the setup right, and Sven takes it down the inside. Can John get a switch back? Can he get a draft? Can he use the intelligence to get the overtake done into turn 1 and not lose the place? He's got a draft. Did he come out too early as they race down the start-finish line to start another lap? And I believe the white flag is now going to be out. No, it will not be out, sorry. We have 2 more laps to go. 2 more laps. Sven down the inside of John. This is fabulous racing. This is exactly what you want to see at the front of the grid. Craig Walters is looking to get back into this, as is Dan Lewis, Gabriel Bonacorsi, and Logan McKinsey. Completely different car in the corner of my eye there. We'll be looking to get onto the back of this 4-car train. There's so much going on there. Oh, Fertile and Delmont have made gains as well, up into 6th and 7th overall, but they're quite a bit behind. 6 seconds behind Logan there. A lot of work to do for those boys to get up to this battle. So we're going to stick with this 4-car battle towards the end, which will soon become a 5-car battle. There is a lot of action going on between Cooper Akers, Tony Walker, and Tom Woodcock. So we got 2 battles. Battle for the race lead is the one that we're going to stick with for now. So you can put up the gap, so the interval between the cars, make it a bit easier to viewpoint there. I think Sven is actually driving away for this one, so we're going to come back to Tony Walker, Mikhail Pashek, Tom Woodcock battle, and Cooper Akers is right in front. This is a 5-car battle because you've got Jay Corley at the back of his little train as well. Zach Lebo looking to gain some. Kev did go take a fast repair. He's still on track at 20th place. Gets some finishing on track there. You got overtaken by Dick Crowther in the pit exit. As we watch the cars come over the start-finish line. With flashing lights. The lights are on all the cars now. The sun has dropped behind the mountains here in Tuscany for this end of the race at Mugello. The white flag is now flying. 30 seconds left on the clock, but the white flag is definitely out now. As we watch Tony Walker looking to size up Cooper Akers. This is for podium position. Pro-Am lead at the moment is Craig Walters. Second is Dan Lewis. Tony Walker and Cooper Akers are third and fourth in the Pro-Ams. Leaders at the moment in the pros are Sven Winter and John Brown. With third place Logan McKinsey and Arthur Fertel. I think those are pretty much wrapped up places. Tom Woodcock tries to go up the inside of Michelaj. Jay Corley has stole that away as well from Tom Woodcock there. It's going to be quite tight before the end of the race here. We're going to pop back in a second. Sven's got a second gap now between John Brown. So I think that's pretty much done and dusted. Overall, as Cooper goes a little bit wider, but manages to do it fine there. Defensive line from Tony Walker against Mikhail Pashek. They've had some good close and some contact racing as the race has gone on today, but I reckon looking at some of the incidents that popped up on the screen, it is tight as anything right now. Jay Corley will be looking to sneak his way through. He's currently running 6 in the Pro-Ams. Another very consistent display from Jay. Cooper's stretched out that lead there to bring home the third place on the podium, but Tony Walker is having to defend from Michelaj. As we look back at this gaggle of cars after Jay Corley, we've got Tom Woodcock, Zach Liebold and Neil Stevenson. And now all in this very long battle as the leaders come over the line to win for Sven Winter, John Brown, Craig Walters, Logan McKinsey. As we see this big outcome through, they're not going to make any position changes as they all come over the line to finish off that race there. Nicely done. I know we didn't see the leaders come over the line, but that was done and dusted. That was the closest action on track for everyone. Oof. Well, that was action-packed, wasn't it? Absolutely action-packed. We've got a number of incidents to look back on there. We'll see what we can find from that race. The green flag. First, that wasn't too bad. There wasn't too much going on there, so we're just going to find the replay. So bear with me 1 second. Dick Crowther unfortunately had a drive-through penalty for a jump start. That's Jake Cordy going off track early on. That was on lap 2, unfortunately. Stuart Gibbons getting some contact there with what's that, Wayne Douglas. Let's have a look at that one again from a tighter angle. Oh, a very forceful, robust bit of movement there. This is Stuart Gibbons again, a bit wide. Wee. Just got a bit overcooked there on the exits. Easy to do in touring cars. Zach Liebold had an off track. Contact with Mikuláš Pasek. We don't normally rewind, but we'll rewind now because it started off just at the wrong point. Zach was hunting down Kev at this stage. There's a bit of a, some might say ascend, bit of a dive bomb. That's my opinion as I look at it from briefly on there. Scott Malcolm at the moment. Let's have a look. That's contact with Logan McKinsey. So certainly some actually, oh, netcode. Yeah, big chunk of netcode there. Unfortunately. That's Arthur Fertel being pushed around, pushing Mikuláš Pasek round. Yowza. Plenty going on. Plenty going on. JB DJ. Oh. Now. That is... trying to work out. That is a Wayne Douglas and a Delmont. Just trying to work out where that happened. That one? Here we go. There's Douglas on the right, Adam Delmont on the left. They're around the outside. Yeah. We'll let you guys be the judge of that one. Or then JB DJ trying to make a defensive move. Oh, Wayne Douglas is coming down the track there. That was a tough one. And then JB, I think he might have had some damage here. He had backed out of it. Jay Corley went off track, apparently. Yeah, got spooked by Jack Davies, I think, there a little bit and just opened up the steering. And then we have a Wayne Douglas, a big red crash. Let's have a look at this one then. Got a bit loose on turning. He had some damage probably from JB. DJ had him, and he's just pulled over and bailed out. Fair enough. And a bit of contact there between Tony Walker, who will watch us, and Mikuláš Pasek. Oh, a little bit of contact again. There's a second bit of contact Mikuláš has had there. Certainly making himself robust on track. There we go, back to Logan McKinsey going off track on the back of Cooper's car. Oosh. And Cooper trying not to destroy Sven Winter on the inside. Cooper Akers. He had an off track. Big slide there, yeah. That's where we saw his rejoin. Very nice rejoin that was actually. Did really well there. Not to get in the way of the racing line. Not just to bomb back on track where we've seen so many people do that in the past. Daniel Lewis had a moment. This is probably at the top of the Arabiatas. So he's to, yeah, just keep it pinned. And then Stuart Gibbons. A bit further down, it's lap 9. Jack Davies. It's so hard, it's so easy to do that there, isn't it? And Neil Stevenson. Just cut the corner wide. It's so easy to do. Monacorsi. Well, here we go. This looks like some contact coming up. Adam Delmont in front. Matthew Downs on the inside. Contact! Oh. And that, yes, that was the big one, actually. So this is going to be from another angle. So Bonacorsi's rear end. Matthew Downs. Oh. It's one of those crashes where not a lot can really go wrong. Oh, just got his rear right and smack. Goodbye, end of race. Bonacorsi did come back to pits. That's in the pit lane. That's all pit lane passes. That was it. That was the final incident of the race for everybody there. So pretty much some carnage, to be honest. Now, I'm just going to look back as I saw John Brown sneak past Craig Walters at one point, and just to see if it picked it up on the SDK for you all before we bring the results up for everybody. And that is going to be easy for me to find. You think it'll be easy to find, but it's not, because you try and do 6, 7 things at once a lot of the time. It's all the laps. Can't find it. Sometimes it just doesn't pick things up, and you have no chance to know anything about it. Obviously, there's no obvious contact to look for John Brown hitting someone, so we can safely say it wasn't a contact aided pass. John Brown past Craig Walters. Yeah, it's not actually picked it up. That's why I didn't actually flip to it on the replay. It didn't see it as an exciting enough moment, unfortunately, so sorry we missed that one. But yeah. Right, I'm going to go back to the checkered flag. Trying to get it back to the checkered. Oh. Scott Malcolm and Dick Crowther, a nice little last corner battle here to take home the checkered. So Scott will be happy with that. Usurping a Pro-Am on the line. So they come over the line there for that. Right then. Well, that was crazy. Let's have a good feature results over from the pro side of things. Here we go. So, this is the pro results. Sven Winter winning the feature race with a dominant performance again by finishing 1.5 seconds clear of John Brown, who came home in second place there. Logan McKinsey third, Arthur Fertel back to fourth, Adam Delmont in fifth, Jay Corley in sixth, Tom Woodcock in seventh place. Zachary Liebold in eighth, Gabriel Bonacorsi in ninth after that incident 5 minutes from the end, and Wayne Douglas. Ooh, that's the wrong one, Kev. That one there. There we go. Wayne Douglas bringing it home in 10th in the Pro-Ams. Come on. There we go. So give me the lines, people. In the Pro-Ams, Craig Walters wins the Pro-Am title. Hey, self-proclaimed, wins the Pro-Ams feature race. Daniel Lewis in second, Cooper Akers in third, Tony Walker in fourth, and Mikuláš Pasek in 13th. So car number 13 with 5th place, Neil Stevenson in 6th, Stuart Gibbons 7th, JB Dejay in 8th, Dick Crowther in 9th, and Kev Aylett in 10th. Matthew Downs, Fraser Elphick and Lewis Delmont to bring home the bottom 3 there. 4 laps down from that position on there. Fraser Elphick and Lewis Delmont will not score points. Not sure if Matthew Downs will get 4 points as well, finishing 4 laps down there. It's 75% completion. Into the AMs. Unfortunately, we didn't get too many AMs racing this week. But Jack Davies takes the win. 3 seconds clear of Scott Malcolm, and Chris Barnes unfortunately didn't finish the race. He retired out at the beginning, didn't take the grid. So Jack Davies getting his first AM win of the season. Congratulations to you guys. Well, and by the power of the wonders of television and all of those wonderful things that we can make believe actually happens, we actually have results for race 2. Oh, well, the championship, not results of race 2, but the results championship results post race 2. And split it out. So we go to the pros. So there's the championship standings as it stands after the 8th round. Sorry, oh my God. After round 2, race 2, um, Logan McKinsey jumps ahead of Arthur Fertel, where 236 points on 94. Strong showing from Logan. Didn't get the overall podium in the last race, but he was very consistent all through the round. John Brown making gains as well, up into 3rd place. Jay Corley also jumping up. I think he was 6th place, up into 4th, and Gabrielle also leaping up. Alan Delmont, a round he'd rather forget. Said he struggled with the overall grip of the car. It was different to practice sessions. Really didn't get what he wanted out of that round, unfortunately, and he drops a few places down to 141 points. Sven Winter in his opening race picked up the full house, 130 points for him. I think he got the fastest laps and the qualifying points and whatever else points. Definitely the race win points, 100%. Wayne Douglas in his first race of the season picked up 50 points. We didn't see Dan Mould. It was his birthday. And Jesus Alacon is no longer racing in the season, but we're still there on the points if he wants us to come back. Pro-Ams, let's bring you up. Mikolas Paszek leaps into the lead for 163 points. A little bit down in the second race, but took advantage of a couple of his peers coming together with that crash at the end between Matt Downs, Kev Ayler, and Gabriel Bonaccorsi. They definitely took out some people, which means he got some points, which leapt him up. Cooper Akers stayed Mr. Consistent for the season so far. He's 148 points, moving up to 2nd. Tony Walker staying in 3rd place. Didn't make massive gains, but was again super consistent. Finished 4th in the last race, and I believe he finished in 4th in the first race as well. Kevin making a few gains there as well. He didn't have the best second race after being taken out for someone else's collision. That's his racing. Dan Lewis leaping up as well. He's now a point behind Kev. Deck Crowther is the biggest faller. He had a good first round, but unfortunately didn't quite get it together in race 2 there. Race 1 was a bit tight as well. So he'll be disappointed with that one. JB DJ dropping a few places as well. Lewis Delmont dropping a few places that he finished, didn't take the grid for the second race. Stuart Gibbons in his first race of the season, good points haul, which will put him on par for exactly running at the front. Luke Jones didn't race tonight. Fraser Elphick unfortunately retired out from both races. Still a number of names still to come in the Pro-Ams. Hopefully we'll see them after this week and next week's round. In the AMS, Jack Davies is clear at the top of the AMS there by a cool 38 points. Scott Malcolm in his first race jumps into 2nd place. We didn't see Paul Hurley or Nick Scottney or Darren Saunders tonight. So it was just a 3 AMS out on track. So hopefully we'll see a few more coming out from there. Still lots to play for in that division. Can the early pacer to Paul Hurley do what he needs to do? Teams. Also press the right button. Teams. There we go. SRL Green. We have 292 points, 259 points for the second place, JS Vrooms, and then third place, JS Trihod, Kevin and Tom Woodcock. Even though you may think on paper they didn't have a very good race, they actually still gained points by finishing the race and being up there. But SRL Green stretching the lead, looking good. Next year Green, not their best round, but they'll be back next week, no doubt, to compete at higher level. Altitude Esports, the sole driver of Arthur Fertel, still in the top 5. Blade Designs, Deck Crowther and Stuart Gibbons. Even with Stuart Gibbons back into the fold, Deck will be disappointed, but they didn't quite gain some more points in that race too. Gabriel Bonaccorsi, a bit of a round for him to forget, really. Involved in contacts in both races. Would probably want to refresh and restart that one, but still plenty to play for. Sven Winter, maximum points for finishing positions, 130 points. I think he is, anyway, for his share at Esport team. And then Lumen Motorsports of Luke Jones and Scott Malcolm with one doing one race and one doing the other race last week and this week. In a 9th place there. The 10th place team of the JS, the Pretenders, of Paul Hurley and Matthew Downs, complete that top 10. And then we will see Knock Racing, ADX Esports, and Blade Designs 2 with more drivers coming to come on track later in the season. Oof. I think I've done enough talking there. And hopefully not bored you all. But it's been a fabulous evening of racing. So thank you all for joining us for what has been a fabulous season of racing. A fabulous night of racing, shall I say. He was in season today. You know, season's still young. It is a fabulous season of racing so far, actually, because there's a lot going on. And there's certainly some key battles, some key stories still to come out of it. We're seeing a number of drivers starting to make a bit of a name for themselves in certain ways. Contacts happening, incidents happening. But we'll see how that pans out with certain things from there as the season progresses. Will that create rivalries? Will that create tension? Stay tuned for more, because next week, season 8 of the SRL TCR League, round 3 is Donington Park National, the sweaty race. You got to see this track is a lot of people's favourites, and the action on track is going to be the hottest and fastest so far, with a quick lap of 1 minute 11 seconds as kind of the guide for the fast boys. It's going to be a fast and frenetic one, so be sure to join us same time next week for the Donington National leg of the SRL TCR League Season 8. Good night, take care, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.